forest, where towering oak trees reached for the sky and wildflowers painted the ground in vibrant hues, lived a small, orange squirrel named Nutsy. His bright green eyes sparkled with mischief, and his big bushy tail swished behind him as he scampered from branch to branch. Nutsy was known throughout the forest for his tiny red cape, which fluttered in the breeze as he zipped through the treetops. He was a cheerful little fellow, always ready with a joke or a helping hand for his forest friends. One sunny morning, as Nutsy was gathering acorns for his winter stash, he heard a loud rumbling sound. The ground shook beneath his tiny paws, and the trees swayed dangerously. Suddenly, a massive figure emerged from the shadows, towering over the forest creatures. It was Boris, the oversized bully bear, with his shaggy brown fur, beady black eyes, and a mean snarl on his face. Boris stomped through the forest, crushing flowers and knocking over small trees with his enormous paws. Nutsy's heart raced as he watched Boris approach. He felt a strange tingling sensation all over his body, and to his amazement, he began to shrink. In a matter of seconds, Nutsy was no bigger than a pebble, his red cape now looking like a tiny scrap of fabric. "What's happening to me?" he squeaked, his voice barely audible. Confused and frightened, Nutsy scurried to hide beneath a large leaf, his miniature form trembling with fear. As Boris continued his rampage through the forest, Nutsy's forest friends gathered around him, concerned about his sudden transformation. "Nutsy, are you okay?" asked Fiona, a delicate blue butterfly with shimmering wings. "I don't know what's happening," Nutsy replied, his tiny voice quivering. "I was so scared when I saw Boris, and then I just shrank." The forest animals exchanged worried glances, unsure of how to help their friend. Suddenly, a wise old owl named Horace swooped down from his perch. His feathers were a mix of brown and white, and his large, golden eyes peered at Nutsy through round spectacles perched on his beak. "It seems, young Nutsy," Horace hooted, "that you have developed a unique ability. When you're frightened, you shrink, and when you're happy, you'll grow. But be warned, you must learn to control this power, or it will control you." Nutsy's eyes widened with excitement at the thought of having a superpower. He closed his eyes and thought about all the happy times he'd had in the forest, playing hide and seek with his friends, finding the perfect acorn, and soaring through the treetops. To everyone's amazement, Nutsy began to grow. He shot up like a spring flower, quickly returning to his normal size. "Wow!" he exclaimed, examining his paws and tail. "This is incredible." However, Nutsy's excitement was short-lived as another loud crash echoed through the forest. Boris was getting closer, and the animals were running out of time. "We need to stop Boris before he destroys our entire home!" cried Rosie, a red fox with a bushy tail and pointed ears. Nutsy looked around at his frightened friends and felt a surge of determination. "I'll do it," he declared, puffing out his chest. "I'll use my new power to save our forest." Nutsy took a deep breath and focused on happy thoughts, willing himself to grow. Slowly but surely, he began to expand, getting bigger and bigger until he was as tall as the trees themselves. His red cape now billowed behind him like a massive sail. "Whoa!" Nutsy exclaimed, his voice booming through the forest. "This is amazing." He carefully stepped over his awestruck friends, making his way towards Boris. As Nutsy approached the bully bear, Boris turned around, his eyes widening in shock at the sight of the giant squirrel. Who are you?" Boris stammered, taking a step back. Nutsy puffed out his chest and declared in a thunderous voice, "I'm Nutsy, protector of this forest, and I'm here to stop you from destroying our home." Boris, not used to being the smaller one, cowered in fear. Nutsy reached out with his enormous paw and picked up Boris, lifting him off the ground. "Now, listen here, Boris," Nutsy said sternly. You can't go around bullying others and destroying their homes. How would you like it if someone did that to you? Boris, dangling in Nutsy's grasp, looked ashamed. I'm sorry, he mumbled. I didn't realize I was causing so much trouble. I was just lonely and wanted attention. Feeling sympathy for Boris, Nutsy gently set him down. As he did so, he felt himself starting to shrink back to his normal size. Well, Boris, Nutsy said, now eye to eye with the bear. If you want friends, all you have to do is be kind and ask. We'd be happy to include you in our forest community if you promise to be gentle and respectful. Boris's eyes lit up with hope. Really? You'd do that for me? The other forest animals, seeing that the danger had passed, cautiously approached. Fiona, the butterfly, fluttered over and landed on Boris's nose. Of course we would, she said with a smile. Everyone deserves a second chance. Boris grinned, revealing a set of not-so-scary teeth. Thank you, he said softly. I promise to be the gentlest bear in the whole forest from now on. In the days that followed, Boris became a valued member of the forest community. He used his strength to help rebuild the areas he had damaged and even became the official forest guardian, keeping watch for any real threats. Nutsy, meanwhile, worked on controlling his new power, learning to change size at will without relying solely on his emotions. He became known as the forest's tiny hero with a big heart. As the sun set on another peaceful day in the forest, Nutsy sat on a high branch, his red cape fluttering in the evening breeze. He looked out over his home, filled with pride and happiness. The forest was safe, he had made a new friend, and he had discovered an amazing ability. Nutsy realized that true heroism comes not from size or strength, but from kindness, bravery, and the willingness to help others. With a contented sigh, he curled up in his leafy bed, ready for whatever adventure tomorrow might bring.